Well, it is 6:30. We will open up the October 20th Select Board meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I don't know if anybody had the opportunity to come to the Halloween event on Saturday, but I want to thank the rec department. They did a fantastic job. There was well over 100 people there the whole time I was here, just kind of coming in and out, and it was beautiful weather and everything went really well. And the fire department was there with some giveaways, and the police department was there, so it was a really good time. They did a great job again, so
Good.
Thank you to the rec department. Manifests. Any questions on them at all?
Make a motion to approve the accounts payable and payroll for 10/14/2025.
I'll second.
Motion, a second by Mr. Decker. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Minutes from October 6th meeting.
I did have a couple of things. Line 224, at least in the email, I'm not sure what it is on paper. So it says Steve Forsick of 69 Short Drive. That should be Pete Wozniak of 69 Shore, SHORE Drive. This spelling is on line 4 of the attendee list. And then I didn't know if we wanted to in the public comment, Steve sort of mentioned a few items that the town should be proud of, but the message was not clearly audible. I don't know if anybody remembers. I don't recall anything
exactly.
specifically either, so. Right, yeah. Okay, I didn't, right.
Tell you what I said.
Oh,
Yeah.
you snuck in.
Back here.
I talked about the road trip and the Halloween thing coming up.
Okay, so the boat tours,
Yeah. With the,
the PLA.
Committee and the PLA.
Yeah, PLA historical. And the
That was the thing I was voting on.
and the Halloween thing coming up, okay. Alright,
Thank you.
so that's all I had.
And then,
There was a couple other changes I thought were already being made that I saw.
yeah, line 54. Courtney Duval's son's name is Bode, B-O-D-E.
Alright, Kennard Road on 158.
Right, so 158 change street to road.
Right.
Okay. Anything else?
Those of us that were here at Halloween Fest got to meet young Bode.
Yeah,
I heard he came.
okay.
Any other changes? Well, you two weren't here. But I don't know if you listened.
So make a motion to approve the minutes of 10/6/2025 with the changes noted.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain, Matt Sherlin.
Abstain, Charlotte Fife.
Motion carries. Reports from committees and departments. Mr.
As far as I know, everything at the recycling center was going well. I was up there on Thursday. Everything seemed to be going fine. Rec department, as you mentioned, Halloween was a huge success. And I think everything's moving along just great. Holiday parade will be December 6th. So, anybody else have anything to add to that?
Talking about the holidays already.
Wow.
Just throwing that out there. aren't you?
Just
December
throwing it
6th.
out, it's coming up, it'll be here before we know it.
Just, at some point, we're gonna have to discuss the Gulfview Recycling Center. So if people have been there, they'll notice that the compacted plastic is now outside because it is not, it used to be a commodity that was purchased. We would get money for a ton, even if it was 15 or 30 cents a ton. We now have to pay $1,400 to get rid of plastic. So you're noticing the plastics building up right now, but there is essentially no recyclable market out there. There's one company, what are they pronounced now? The New Hampshire company?
New Hampshire Recycles.
Yeah, or whatever the main company is, NES or whatever they're the ones that helped guide it, but when I was up there over the weekend too, the facility is running nice.
Oh, they changed their name.
Yeah.
It was NRA, they changed to New Hampshire Recycles.
There we go. And but there's no market for, I mean, metals have a market and everything, and the bulky waste we pay for and stuff like that, and the cans have a market, but plastic, there's no market. So it's just piling up right now, and even cardboard is very limited as well. So if you see it, it's gonna have to come to a discussion point where we just either let this pile up, but then that could become its own environmental problem because the containers are just sitting on the ground, but it is something we need to be cognizant of that. But probably before winter flies, we either need to just pay and get rid of all the plastic that we can that's exterior, but so people understand, like, we have a recycling center, but that doesn't mean that things are being recycled on the planet right now. There's just no market for it, so. Anything else?
No,
Sorry,
That's it.
just wanted to.
No,
Yeah, we did discuss it at the last
we did
meeting,
discuss it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was busy.
Mr. Decker.
So the planning board met on the 8th. The next meeting is this Wednesday, the 22nd. So 2 weeks ago, we continued the review of the zoning and land ordinance use regulations. We discussed the Route 4 152 design and how it impacts a Northwood subdivision, and we discussed the budget. The CIP committee met on the 13th. We ended up doing a work session because of lack of attendance, and our next meeting is on November 3rd. Facilities met on Friday the 10th. We did a tour of the PD and had a needs discussion
Really? Would you do it?
at the police department.
Thank you.
That's it.
Very good, thank you. The Master Planning Committee, subcommittee is meeting tomorrow night. Feels like it's been like 2 months since we've met. But I will say, we mentioned it a couple meetings ago, November 8th, Saturday, November 8th from 9 to 12 is our community workshop for the subcommittee meeting, focusing on housing and natural resources. So it's a 3-hour session, but what we're hoping to do is have people from the community come in. We'll have small breakout sessions, 4 separate breakout sessions to discuss specific needs, wants, concerns in the community about natural resources and housing, and then kind of come back together as a larger group to talk about how we want to address it as a for the master planning subcommittee. So encourage you to attend. But tomorrow night we'll be finalizing the agenda for that.
Highway department, I mean, they've still making on to their final, not final, but they're doing their fall grading and kind of trying to set the roads before winter. I haven't seen the truck if it's back from the getting the wrap job on it, the F-550 replacement one. I haven't physically put my eyes on it. But Steve Rollins had sent a request in, and I sent an email. So basically, we have a small excavator that was bought a few years ago that they've been using, but the height of it doesn't reach into the big, 10-wheeler trucks that we use for a lot of stuff. So that forces them to try to rely on the smaller trucks, but then they're making a lot more trips. He had proposed the one that we have has rubber tracks, and it's a smaller mid-size unit, to a wheeled unit that could still be used on the trailer that we bought with the other one, so it could be hauled around if need be. He was looking at potentially doing a trade with the balance coming out of the highway block fund. So essentially no cost to the town, but it would be a change. The unit, they're kind of reviewing it right now, so it's over at the highway department. It has a hydraulic bucket on it as opposed to just a standard one way. It can do like lots of angles and grading. It also has a mulching head on it, not like a roadside mowing head, but a mulching head that can be used for some stuff. So I don't know if this is the proper time for it now. We can put it on the agenda for next time, but I did post it. Ellen put the trade allowance that's on there, and I do believe that the highway block fund has excess of what is required. It does seem we're getting a fair trade for our potential small unit. But it just comes into what we have several big trucks and 2 small trucks and then a small excavator, and trying to do what they're doing. They're just spending a lot of time driving around. So he seems to think that this would be a better use. So again, I don't know if this is open for talk now, if you want to move it to the next meeting, but I did make sure that the email was out with the trade allowance and what they're purchasing for it and everything that comes with it.
That's a pretty good trade.
What year is the used one?
Does it say the year on that
think it
one?
does.
No,
It does
I didn't
not.
see it on
No.
there.
I do not know the year. I know that the hours were approximately 5,000 hours on the one he's looking to purchase, and ours that we have now is approximately 2,000 hours.
Yeah, I was gonna say ours is not
It is
very
not that old.
No.
Nope. It's just limited in its use for what they're trying to accomplish with it in terms of the ditching and the moving, and then that one being tracked has to be trailered everywhere, where the other one where it has wheels could drive everywhere. It wouldn't be the fastest, but it'd be somewhere like a front end loader. And then it has the mulching head. It has more abilities to it. And it is a bigger unit enough that it could pick up and put into the bed of the truck without, right now they're kind of dropping a bunch of it just because of the height, trying to reach in there. So just Steve, again, trying to look at the assets he has. He was just kind of thinking this one isn't working out exactly as they had hoped, and potentially trying to make a trade that doesn't actually cost us anything.
And the highway block grant funds have to be used for equipment, highway department specifically. They can't go to the general fund. I didn't have an opportunity to look through it, to be honest with you.
Right.
I'm fine, we can wait till the next meeting. It
Need to
was,
digest.
I would
I
like
s-
to know the mileage of that year.
yeah, I don't know if they put
And-
mileage. I know that it has tires, but I think they go
Hours,
on
I should
hours.
say, not mileage, sorry.
But we can get some more information on everything on it, just letting you know, and then that way we'll have more information for next time, and I'll make sure we have the exact block fund balance. I wasn't at the last meeting, so I could talk about it.
It's okay.
But other than that, I think they're, the department is down one individual who gave his resignation, so that is posted. But other than that, I think they're doing pretty well. Still no word on the new grader, somewhere between maybe
Here
at
and
port,
there.
I don't know, it's not here yet. Good thing the other one did not broke, 'cause it takes a while to replace.
I'll say,
It's Fife?
Yeah.
yeah, again, also talked to the police, this week. Excuse me, on the 10th, with the Town Facilities Committee, not to be confused with the School Facilities Committee. We went to the police department, found a lot of the same issues that we've found in the past. And I had a chance to talk with the police chief. She's quite pleased with their retention of staff at this point. I believe all of their cars are in service at this point. We had to wait quite a while to have the new ones wrapped and outfitted, but I believe everything's on the road now. Things are going pretty well. And we'll have some type of town facilities report, hopefully a preliminary one by the first of the year or so, just to start going over things with you. The budget committee met on the 16th, and we reviewed the third quarter budget briefly for the town. We were introduced to Paul Livingston, who is the temporary, I guess, or part-time business manager for the school now. Seems like a nice guy, very part-time, 2 days a week, and is working very hard with the software they already have at the school. It's called Tyler, and they feel that they're not using it as completely as they could. And Paul seems interested and able to do that. He wants to do a monthly report to the school committee, uses best practice, accountability, collaboration. And so he's making some changes that sounded impressive to us. We got committee reports from the CIP, the school facilities committee. All they had to tell us was that the HVAC system is working right now. And the glycol seems to be okay, and they're testing it regularly. And we'll be meeting again on October 30th at 7 o'clock. That's all.
Thank you. We don't have a town administrator report. Ellen White is on vacation right now. She's returning tomorrow, I believe, or yes, tomorrow. For correspondence, we did have an email last Wednesday from Emmy Reed in regards to porta potties. Follow up on that. No, Ellen responded. And then we had an email from Dale. Sylvia. And Marion Friend Gray emailed. She's been working part-time with Ellen here at the town. I think you probably spent some time with her,
Yes.
Charlotte. But she's wondering about our policies and ordinances. She has a stack of them that are all signed that need a home. That is something that's under our purview, so I mean, I would think that we could keep them electronically, but the physical document could be held too.
Ellen and I have been talking about trying to get things digitalized. We can borrow a scanner from Stratford Regional for free for 2 weeks at a time, but it's finding the software and how we want to classify things. So I'm working with the Conservation Commission right now to organize their things, also personnel records. It would be great if we could really start digitalizing these things that we need to keep. So I'm hoping we're not going forward on it right now, but we're at least looking at different software packages to be able to do that.
Be a lot easier to search, wouldn't it?
Oh, gosh. No. I've been alphabetizing things for months now. Yeah, it would be a lot easier and, you know, and safer for our records too. I mean, how many times do people go looking for records and, oh, the town hall burned down in, 1950 or something. So it would be better. And a lot of the records are in poor condition, moldy and mildewy, so it's time. It's time.
So in regards to the policies and ordinances, I mean, I would think that she could scan.
Yeah. That would be the
in-
perfect,
Right.
that would be like really
Just-
the first thing to start with, I would
Yeah.
think, in a way.
Into the OneDrive.
Yeah.
And probably keep the physical copies for now and then just check back with Ellen when she returns and verify that those can be destroyed, but I don't think there's a reason why they can't be.
Yeah, there are time constraints on
Right.
all of them, and they're all different.
Yeah, that was one of the issues at the PD is all the storage of documents that they have
Yeah.
to keep.
Yeah, not to mention evidence that they need to keep too. Storage is a huge issue.
And then there was an email from 211 last week too. I would imagine Ellen's gonna log in and take care of that. I logged in today just to check it out, and she's already in there. So, to complete the survey for that, which takes 10 to 20 minutes. And then we do have the MS1 form that's been updated with our recent assessment. Did anybody have a chance to review that?
Very interesting. So the assessment is completed, and this is the form that'll go on to the Department of Revenue Administration.
Correct, for our tax rate that will be set in December for the last 6 months, so. And just to, I mean, this is good, a public document, it's gonna be available online, but last year, our net valuation for the town of Nottingham was 1,429,000. I'm sorry,
Probably an extra zero.
yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
yeah, this is the 2025. That's 2025, I'm sorry, last year was $821,830,701. This year, it's $1,429,611.13. So up over
With the B.
600,000.
Right,
Yeah.
B with, yeah, billion with a B.
Billion,
I had to look at those commas too.
yes. So.
What is that actually talking?
What's that? That's the valuation of our property, the town property, well, not town property, I'm sorry.
Property
property.
in
All
town.
property in town, without utilities,
Yeah.
so, and that will be used to set our tax rate, in December. And so to understand is the tax rate will most likely be slightly lower, but the amount of taxes should still be about the same.
Bills.
It depends on the valuation of your property as far as you might have, your share
We
might be a
don't
little bit higher than
separate.
others. Right,
Right.
so, yeah,
That's a big jump.
it is,
And if you could, Tim, please speak up. It is a television broadcast that you're doing.
okay,
We're,
You're speaking softly.
okay.
we have a microphone right here.
Yeah, my understanding was that this microphone was great.
It is great.
I heard you, Doug.
I'll speak up.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So do we vote to
Yeah, so we need a
accept
motion
this?
to accept the MS1 and sign, and then we can sign it.
I will motion that we vote to accept the 2025 MS1 document, Nottingham Summary Inventory Evaluation.
I'll second. All right,
Go
come on,
ahead.
Steve, go for it.
Don't matter,
You
as
can
long
have
as
it.
somebody
You can
does.
have it.
Somebody does.
Motion is second by John Decker. All in favor?
Aye.
Jim, what does that stand for?
That's a good question.
I think it's
Something?
municipal something.
Municipal,
It's a,
I guess.
It's a
All
state,
ERA forms. are-
right, it's a state forms.
So this isn't municipal something.
I assume,
Probably.
I don't know for sure.
We don't know.
We'd only be
Municipal schedule maybe?
Oh, could be, yes. That
summary, I
sounds-
would think,
That-
personally.
Maybe.
I take-
I can get back to you on that.
You want me to Google it?
Yeah. And we have to sign those.
Yeah. And then I'll just put it in the folder with assessing,
Super.
which is next on the agenda.
Okey-doke.
We have 4 land use change tax items.
Oh, I'll make a motion to, accept the municipality land use change tax bill and the warrant for land use change tax on map 43, lot 33.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
We can make a motion to accept the municipality land use change tax bill and the warrant for land use tax change on map 11, lot 3-1.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
And moving on, municipality land use change tax bill and warrant for land use change tax for map 11, lot 3-2.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And lastly, approve the municipality land use change tax bill and warrant for land use change tax for map 11, lot 3-3.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Pass those down to Charlotte.
There's there.
What it stands for. Not with it, it's
Google
not-
wasn't telling
it's-
us, huh?
It's not that
These
easily,
acronyms and abbreviations
out.
are terrible.
and it stands for too many things.
Yep. Oh, we were true, yeah.
So we had put out to bid our oil and propane for 2026, or November 1st, 2025 through October 31st of 2026, and we didn't receive any bids. Heating oil or
I thought I
propane.
was missing something.
So I think the next step is having Ms. White reach out to some of the
Reach out to
providers
some of
get
these companies.
I guess so.
prices. It's the
Do
first
any
year
of
she's
our
ever done it.
contracts continue on? That are current?
No,
No,
it
I
ends.
so.
Yeah,
Not that they won't renew it.
right. Surprised our current provider did not.
I would agree. It almost seems like nobody received it, but
Yeah.
who do I know?
Sending it out again.
Right.
Yep. On to the 2026 budget presentations. And due to scheduling constraints, we'll start with the library. Step up. Hi.
Hello. I'm Amanda Stevens, I'm interim library director,
Dan Bunker, assistant director.
and I'm Casey Taylor.
Thanks for coming. So we have a summary, but in the summary it says there's only 3 line items and it says see separate memo
I think we
for details. I didn't see anything.
had something earlier from them that detailed, it was the initial budget request.
Oh.
So many papers, sorry.
But if you wanna start with, if you just wanna start with how things are going this year, and then we can kinda go into what your requests are for 2026.
Things are going well. As you know, last year we certainly had some maintenance issues. But we're sort of handling them and, moving forward. The maintenance issues, the building is, over 26 years old. So, we've had some exterior repairs this year. The rotting, wood trim was replaced in certain areas. Also, we did a pressure wash of the building because there was some sort of mildew on the backside. And, we had spent some money for the sidewalk repair as well. We also replaced the emergency ramp. We did have a grant for partial of the cost, but, it only covered about half of it, so, we had to, kick in some money for that. We had some electrical issues too that we had to spend some money on. And safety concerns as well, and at one point, last winter, the doors froze shut. And so we had to, address that issue. So there have been a bunch of repairs and maintenance issues that have been ongoing for the last several years. This past year was no exception. And so the library is more than we anticipated.
Maintenance has been a line item that's been for the last 2 budget cycles. And to clarify, the addition of the library is 26 years old. The original library is over 50 years old. So we're starting to see some of those yearly items crop up due to the age of the building.
May I ask what your HVAC situation is at this point? Do you anticipate?
Yeah, they were in this week working on it, but it was the lower left-hand unit, which powers the portion of the children's room as well as portion of upstairs. They were working on it this past week, and I believe it's expected to be complete.
Great, nice. Good luck to them. I was asking about their HVAC
But that's
systems.
not the whole picture, we still have units that need to be upgraded
Yes.
and replaced.
That's
Like,
solely
but-
that
maybe,
budget.
But
Yeah.
this at least hopefully will take us through the winter time.
Okay.
Oh, okay, great, thank you.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, AC might be an issue.
So that's kind of the main part.
You got a lot accomplished in the last couple of
Indeed.
years, so.
The right-hand unit, is the same age as the left-hand unit that failed. And that is on the, addition side of the building, with the older, portion of the building being replaced in the last, several years.
Thanks.
One of the things that the library has been very fortunate to benefit from for years has been all of the donated services too. So in terms of positives for our budget, that's been huge. That's also, of course, in the back of our heads. We don't know how long we are going to have these donated services. So these include IT services, which for a library of our size is $10,000 to $20,000 a year budgeted. We have donated bookkeeping services, which would be $5,000 to $6,000 a year. And we have donated grounds upkeep and landscaping, which is done by the Friends of the Library. And if we didn't have that, that would probably be $5,000 to $10,000 a year. So basically, we are getting anywhere from $21,000 to $38,000 each year in terms of donated services, which is amazing and wonderful. And we don't know how long, especially for example, bookkeeping and IT services, how long we'll have that. The other thing too is that we were told by, I think, a past budget committee that we should use the town lawyer. And so our legal services are coming through the town, and that is perhaps not, well, we've been lucky, because I think most libraries have some kind of legal services of their own. So that is also something that is not in our budget currently.
Do you find much need for legal services?
Well, we haven't yet, so hopefully that's wood.
Gotcha.
But, I mean, in this current climate
You never
of
know, do you?
censorship and book challenges, and certainly other libraries in the area within this past year have found themselves
Absolutely.
in need of legal services.
Nice. Oh, not nice, but.
Good for us.
So pretty much everything comes out of that operations line other than the salaries,
Yes.
And telephone.
right, and telephone. Telephone, and you're staying flat with phone.
And you plan to keep staffing at the same levels?
Well, we're looking for a slight increase, and that's just because all but one of us is a part-time employee, and we are just constantly sort of looking for the right combination of part-time employees to fill the gaps. So that's why we're looking for a slight increase, just, so we don't have to close unexpectedly because of staff absences.
There always have to be at least 2 staff members in the library for everyone's safety. And so if the library can't do that, the library has to close, and it has happened this past year. So that's why we need to have a lot of flexibility with staffing, since we are actually not fully staffed either.
How many staff members do you currently have?
10. But that is just one full-time and the rest being part-time.
Yeah.
Well below it's kind of piecing the schedule together for coverage of the building.
Yeah, it was in the one from a month ago.
Okay.
Do you want to see a couple?
That's fine. Just
And how many hours a
what
week are
comes
you
to the
open?
budget anyway.
How many hours a week?
Are you open?
Oh,
30, I believe it was 36 hours.
So they have a, like a building maintenance line item, but do we pull out of our building? So do we need to have both line items,
So-
or is it?
General stuff about the building comes out of the town budget, but I believe like internal things come out of their budget, if I understand correctly.
I'm just saying, like, this line item, they're proposing an increase, just saying it's an aging building, but at the same point, other bills like the heating, Bodet, stuff like that come through to us, and we pull it out of the expendable trust fund. So I'm just making sure for a clean budget
Right.
review, like,
What,
they're increasing to spend more, but really it's
some
coming out
of
of,
it needs to probably move to,
right,
yeah.
so it's,
Well, the increase is pretty much directly proportionate or equal to the amount that we have spent this past year in library funds on maintenance that the town has not paid for, the
Okay.
library has paid for.
That's
Right,
helpful.
right, yeah, it's split, so it's confusing.
Yeah, it's confusing.
and then the next line down, the materials across, it says New Hampshire downloadable books cost increase. And is a fee assessed to the library equal to 25% of this line. So this year, you only actually spent 12-ish, but you're asking still for the 17. Can you just explain this line item for me that's on here at all? Just like what it is and why the value should remain where it is if it's not gonna be.
Yeah, our materials line includes books, magazines. Also, New Hampshire downloadables is our fee to the state library to provide Libby services, which is the online ebooks and audiobooks for people to access. And that will increase to, I believe, 4,400 for this coming year. So it keeps going up a percentage because of what's happening with the whole publishing industry. So, and our prices of books keep going up. Baker and Taylor will not be operating anymore. Baker and Taylor is one of the premier companies that provided books for libraries. And so we now will need to access another company, and we're not too sure what those costs will be.
Okay.
Within the line, we purchase books on a month-to-month basis, so there's still some time before the end of the current year to purchase.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
And a correction, it was 35 hours a week, not 36 hours a week that we are open, sorry.
I think it's just important to note too that the fee for the New Hampshire downloadable books, that's something that many of our patrons utilize, and it is a fee over which we have no control. So that is
You probably find that growing every year.
It is.
Yes, significantly. And it's a problem for every library in every state.
Yep.
But it is for us as well.
Were there any further questions on the New Hampshire downloadables? I'd be happy.
I was
to
just
answer
looking at
those.
that one line overall, but that explains that it's more than just that. It was just the
Yeah.
way that it,
Yeah. It's hard to
it
read
kind
everything.
of, the summary of what this line item was, I was just like,
Made it sound like it was all New Hampshire downloadable books.
No, that's a portion of
Yeah.
it.
okay,
We have done cost benefit analysis of New Hampshire downloadables. So we've taken a look at what the percentage of our checkouts are versus the assessed costs in line. And it's still it's a large percent of our checkouts are done digitally through downloadables, the New Hampshire downloadables, which is, you may have heard as the Libby app, which is a very popular app for ebooks, e-magazines, and audiobooks.
I mean, yeah, your budget's right about where it needs to be to try to fit, especially with the tax cap. And I understand the aging building, but at the same point, you have probably the nicest building that we have in town that's within our purview. I mean, the school's got its own issues too, but everybody's trying to eke out each little bit. The only thing I could see that we would have to maybe is just that maintenance line item, depending on what you guys have for your cost maintenance compared to, but that's a much further. This is just, you're telling us what we need, and we understand what it is, but.
The maintenance also includes some smaller things such as the, we had to do the water system update, register the water system with the state, and there's the quarterly tests that we have to do, as well as yearly tests we do, that are submitted to the laboratory for analysis.
Okay. But the septic's fixed now, so that's-
Yes, it is.
Anybody have anything
Yeah,
else for the
questions?
library? Great.
I have a non-library, how's the disc golf coming?
The Martha projects are going well, moving along.
Good question.
And also on a program base, programming has gone exceedingly well. It is we have our children's programming is banner. We're bringing in a larger and larger volume. We have a special coming up, our own Halloween special called the Blaisdell Bizarre Bazaar. That'll be a unique take on what library programming can be. So we hope to see you all there. There should be flyers around and a lot more to come, including unique programs that hit a diverse, eclectic topics, and hopefully we can welcome everyone through our doors.
We have a great library.
Thank you, we appreciate that.
Should be proud of it.
You do.
They do great work.
You do.
Always busy when it's open, so.
Right.
Now you have a new problem, parking, right?
Hopefully we'll get the parking lot fixed one of these years.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
We made a
Ms. Anderson, would you like to come up?
Wow, that's so fun. I was gonna complain.
I emailed something to Nancy, did you get that?
Above and beyond this.
We've got a
Yes.
worksheet.
None of my figures were there,
I just,
unless Nancy cut and pasted them in,
And she might have, yeah,
but
But,
I don't know if you
just
have
your
one
budget, right?
narrative.
Right, anything on here?
your budget, right?
Yeah,
there are a couple of notes, but
oh, you have that,
Yeah.
okay,
is that,
all right.
okay, we're good?
I think so, yeah, yep. So I wanna go back to a topic that you were talking about with, storing of all of the records and everything. By law, the town clerk is supposed to be the keeper of all the town's records. I was told at one point that the town decided that the selectman's office was gonna keep their records and other departments were gonna keep theirs, and I don't know if it was like an official vote, how the selectmen decided to do that, if they really did that, you know, I don't know.
It's just a legend.
It was years ago. So, like, I know I couldn't keep track of Tracy's records, I don't touch her records, how would I keep track of tax records? But I know that I should keep track of my own records. And it's difficult to do so, because there's never enough time in the day to even approach it. Luckily, we got a new filing cabinet and I can open up the file drawer,
Now,
pull the files
is that
out.
anything you can digitize too? Or does the state require that all of that?
Oh, no, we have
Keep
to
this
keep
going.
we have to keep a list of our records forever, the originals.
For forever?
Yeah, they have to be preserved. I know Sandy got a grant at one point, and she was able to have a company digitize everything, but we still have the originals in a fireproof safe. Vital records, things like that.
It really is a big problem for all towns.
Yeah, it is. It is. I know Deerfield had a big project where she was able to have a lot of her stuff digitized, but I don't have access to a lot of things, and I probably should push forward the idea that all of the departments should get together to come up with some kind of a plan, because it's supposed to be on my shoulders.
Well, thanks. That'd be great.
I could shrug it off, but
It is, I mean, it's a real time suck to be looking up records
It
that you
is.
can't find and
And if you
aren't in order.
can't find out when something was enacted, how do you know?
Good luck.
Is it revolving? I don't know.
Well, and that's also tough with the digital world too, because you kind of, especially if it's a PDF, you know, it may not search into the document unless you open the document first. Or it could become an image and then you can't search it because it's just a picture.
Yeah, it's a
Wow.
big problem.
You can search in a PDF though, right?
Right,
In a
a
PDF.
regular PDF, but a lot of times PDFs are just pictures.
Oh.
So it's like if it's a scanned document, it's like a picture, so it's just a picture of words. Can't search that.
You can if you name it. Name the file.
Hmm?
Name it, name the file, PDF, whatever it
Well,
is.
right,
Give
but
it a
you
name
can't
and you can
search
search it.
within it, I mean, you know, it's like, you can't search the detail, you can't say, find all the instances of Nottingham, for instance, in that picture.
But I can in the electronic procedure, in the election procedure manual, we can search in that and that
Right,
means
it
hundreds of
depends
pages.
on how it's done. So,
Cause that's handy when we're trying to find something in that manual, which is, you know.
Right.
So I don't think that we really have I didn't even increase by 4%. But that was because line item with the town clerk equipment.
Yeah.
I was overquoted for the second computer to have Clerkworks put on it. They had no idea how much it was gonna cost me to have that software put on that computer, so they gave me a figure of about $4,800, which I put in there.
Yeah.
And it's really like 285. So I had
Wow.
extra money in there for a second user.
When does that happen? All right.
Yeah, that was very odd, but it's come in handy because just last week I found out that the computer that we use mainly is a state computer and it's Windows 10 and it's not upgradable to Windows 11. And so I had to purchase another one.
so will the state provide you a new computer?
No,
So
and they
they
weren't
did,
going, and they didn't tell me that they weren't going to do anything about it either. I had to contact them.
Oh, yeah.
this for the
This has been happening,
registrations?
yeah.
That's the one we use for everything. But it had to be a state computer at one point because the vital records could only be accessed on a state computer. They had special firewalls, but now they said, we don't have to, we can use any computer. So that's good.
So that gets them out of buying you a new computer.
Right.
Yeah, I kinda wish they had said something, but they did not.
So then the only other, I guess for 2026, the only thing in there would be the contracts that you have for service
What?
for the tech equipment maintenance and support.
Yeah, we have to have that.
Yeah.
We have to have that. And we've also, a couple of years ago, we got the dog software for the police, for them to be able to access it. I don't know how often they access it, but that's included in that. I think that was pretty reasonable, only like $300-400 a year anyway. Line 24 is moot, we can't even talk about that. We have no idea how much that's gonna be.
What is line 24?
And
Town clerk fees.
so the elections division keeps changing our election law. And it seems like every day we get a new update on that. So trying to keep up with all the changes and putting them into place. Now the town clerks have to program the AVS for the town elections. And last year was the first time, and that was a process. I spent a lot of time doing that. And every time I had to set up the equipment, well, you know what it's like setting up that equipment, right? And then making sure and then proofreading it all, and it was a lot of work. But I know Dawn's gonna talk with you about some of that too. So. I am proposing that if we have anything left in here, I probably have 4,000. I'd be willing to give it to Dawn for some elections equipment. I don't wanna wipe my account out, I'd like to leave a few $100s in there just in case, but Because I also use the equipment that Dawn wants to buy, you know?
Alright.
Yeah.
And we have 3 elections next year, so.
And you're talking about equipment that potentially is coming due if we get towards the end of the year and you have money left in the 25 budget that we need to purchase for 26 elections. That's what you're referring to.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Just making sure I'm clear, not like, oh, I didn't raise my budget by 4%, there's 4,000 left. That's, no, I was just,
And we can't spend any money that we're proposing for the 26 budget until the budget's passed,
Right.
correct.
so.
Lori, I did a little bit of research on salaries for town clerks.
I think that that's the way the town should go. We are probably 1% of the whole state that pays the way we get paid. Everybody else gets paid by a salary, and then we would both be here at the same time. Not necessarily every day, but the majority of days. I spent a good hour on the phone today with Alana and through email, just trying to solve an issue that we had. Just conferring with her, you know, what happened, something happened on Friday, she had to try to fix it today, what happened, how do we get there? It was my day off. You know, and then last week I spent a couple of hours working on the whole new computer thing on Tuesday, that was my day off. I would rather be in the office and actually get something done than answer the phone when I don't have to. It should be one or the other. We could go down to 4 days a week. We don't have to be open 5 days a week. Most towns are only open 4 days. But if we have 2 people there, at least 2 of those days, that information, I'm constantly sending her emails, oh yeah, this happened, you have to know that. Because we don't work together. We don't know what's already happened between yesterday and today.
Didn't we talk about that last year, is if there was more overlap with you, but then you have to reduce, like you said, reduce the hours that you're open.
It would reduce the hours that we were open, but
Right.
not the number of hours that
Correct,
we work.
correct.
That's correct.
But you set your hours,
Yeah, and I can set whatever hours I wanna set,
right,
but I wanna get paid for them,
yes,
and that's the issue.
That's ridiculous.
So if, you know, you did a salary situation, and that's up to the Board of Selectmen, I can't change that.
Mhm.
I don't know if it has to be a warrant article or what.
Well, I think we looked into this last year and it's really not very clear. About,
Like everything.
yeah, about,
I can't,
it's as clear as mud as far as who approves and how it's approved. The voters approve,
the voters approve.
right?
I
But
don't know
it's-
if it has to be a warrant article or whatever.
And yeah, because we looked into that last year.
There'd be some research that,
If the
I
voters
think
approve,
we-
it technically probably should be a warrant article.
If you set a budget of hours,
I
like a
guess
budget for money to pay hours, or you say it's a salary, I think they're just approving a dollar amount, not in
That's
which
true,
way
too.
that it's being paid.
I mean, obviously, how much we got paid would be higher. But the average clerk makes, I don't know, 15 to 20,000 more than I make in a town this size. And I'm just putting that out there. The town of Lee, she makes 55,000. Up in Northwood, I think they make 50. Some of them are also tax collectors, but it's just a consideration.
Yeah, no, I think we can definitely look into it.
I talked to New Hampshire fiscal policy folks too, and they were saying the average was $23.66 per hour for town clerks, but they couldn't break it down into really town size or
There's
anything
no
like
way. The
that,
town
so.
clerk in Barrington makes $70,000 a year plus benefits,
Awesome.
and she's not even the tax collector.
Whole
They had
different
no way to
town,
break it down, yeah.
a lot different town than Nottingham.
Not really. They have 3 people that work there all the time too, so they have more personnel for the number of people, because they have almost twice as many people. But what's different about registering a car and,
The amount you do,
what do you mean the amount?
the
Well,
amount of
you have,
cars you
they have
register.
3 people working.
Yeah, but the amount of cars you register,
but they had 3 people doing them at the same time,
Get it?
you know, so
Exactly. Same, yeah.
I think what the town needs to recognize is the knowledge that we have.
Absolutely.
It's not that we're not somebody that can go in and within a week learn the job. I'm sure John knows that with Dan, how much Dan knows about election law, and that's just a portion of it.
It's getting more.
And, you know, I'm not gonna beg for my job, but I'm just putting it out there. We're very few people that do this job get paid the way that we do. So, that's something that the Board of Selectmen, I think, have to come up with. I can always change my hours and go over my budget.
But right now, you're at what, 3.8% from last year, so that's pretty reasonable. More than reasonable.
Yeah, I thought that was reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job.
And we don't, unless something happens with anything, any of our
Yeah.
equipment. But it's pretty simple, but I'll give Dawn whatever I have left over.
Wish I had a friend like you.
Okay? Any questions?
No? Do you have any more questions?
Thanks.
Pretty straightforward.
Thank you.
Got extra handouts?
So
Well, this is helpful.
this year, the last time I was updated with a budget, where we were this year, we actually had unspent funds of $5,411.58 in our election budget. 1,200 of which is my moderator stipend, which I would be willing to donate towards the purchase of more equipment. Well,
This is mine.
yes, was gonna drink it though.
John,
Oh, jeez.
It's just water, Dawn. What equipment, additional equipment do you need to purchase?
So, a couple of things. While I'm super hopeful that the new ballot counting device will alleviate a lot of the problems we have, I don't know if any of you, well, not you all were present when we backed up the entire floor, which really is not something we should do. You should always have the number of ballots on the floor that you have machines, but because of the length of these town election and school budgets, like, that's just insane. And even the new machine is only gonna be able to read so fast. In fact, I think it has better scanning capabilities, so page by page, it might be a little slower. I mean, a lot of our issues were jamming in the machine, so it's sort of twofold. I don't know the history, and I've asked a few times, Ellen hasn't found the answer to or not, but something I've learned along the way is that unless there was a warrant at some point for the town to be running the school election, as opposed to a gentleman's handshake, which we probably did at some point, technically they should be running their election, not necessarily completely independently, but at least alongside of us. And right now, Lori does all of the work for the school clerk work. I do the moderator work, and so it's a lot of extra work, and we don't mind it, but these ballots being so long are an issue. You also have the school superintendent's second one in a row now, I see, requesting for us to not use their facility. I do think that it wouldn't be unreasonable to maybe have them help contribute any surplus funds that they have, because I do feel with some better equipment and more modern equipment, we could speed up the elections and eliminate a lot of our lines and our backup. And I think if we were able to do that, I do think we could use this facility. I mean, our concerns are parking and people being able to wait in line indoors. But if we were processing people faster, which again, I'm gonna ask for poll pads, it is You know, I have attended all of my moderator meetings and conferences with the Secretary of State. This is where we're going at some point. You know, I think the paper book will be eliminated. They are encouraging towns to do this. You know, I realize that we are a smaller town, but many towns have done it. Obviously, still many have not, but we do have a space issue, and I do think these two things could potentially help alleviate those space issues. I do think, again, if we have some surplus funds, I would like to look into purchasing the poll pads. I think for year one, we could just start off with pads for the actual election, which would be one pad for processing the absentees, which again, as you guys know, who have to run those ballots for me all day long, that is also a big tie-up of our ballot clerk stations. So if we had a poll pad, we could solely dedicate to processing those. And then 2 poll pads for our ballot clerks. And then each one would need a printer, and the first year's enrollment fees would be $1,300, so that would be $6,250. I know that the supervisors are not quite there yet on wanting them, so you know, that would be up to them. We can also purchase a supervisor pad where that they could also be registering new folks on them, and then that would be live feeding it into ballot clerks poll pads, which I also think would be a huge time saver. But again, that would be for future budget when they feel like they would want to move that direction. So for 2025, if we had remaining funds that we could, it would be $6,250. We have $5,411.58 of unspent funds in the election budget, and we are done with elections this year. So that's only a shortfall of $838.42. Somebody might have donated that. The costs for, and again, there's obviously going to be a learning period, but I do think in future years we will be eliminating some of the costs too for ballot clerks, especially when the state does say we can get rid of the paper book altogether. Right now they do still want it as a backup, but it is coming that will.
So just to be clear, like if we go to the poll pads, we have the book as a backup, but there's no longer the check-in process of the.
Nope. So what will happen is these little printers will print a receipt of who checked in, and then we'll collect those, and we'll actually, and I think this will actually cut down on mistakes, which will help the supervisors. We'll have, you know, probably our most dedicated seasoned clerk sitting in a quiet back corner, taking those receipts and then checking in on that backup book, because a lot of what happens at the end of the night is we're just having so many stakes and everyone's so tired trying to read the ruler count. They have to physically count all that. These poll pads will give me an immediate report at the end of the night so that I don't have, you know, we don't have to rectify those numbers there on the spot. We can have the next couple of days to cross-reference everything. So I think it's a good use. I think it will solve a lot of problems. I think we should definitely, I do, as the chief election official, if you ask me right now, we need the school. We need that space. We struggle in this building. It's awful for us because all of our stuff is physically here, so it is extra work for us. But as a parent and a community member, I can also see how that's an incredible strain on the school system, and I do think we should be conscientious about that if we can. So I think having a more productive conversation or relationship with them, hey, do they have slush funds? Do they want to help? I think the second machine would in particular be, because we could process school ballots in one machine, ours in the other, and you know, if in fact we don't have warrants, that the town is supposed to be running the school elections, the school could actually handle their elections side by side with us, but separately, also cutting down on our expenses, our fatiguing of our ballot clerks. You know, some more hands to the election in general. Again, also with better and more equipment, I still feel comfortable running their elections. I just don't know if officially, we are supposed to be.
Can we use the old machine until we have enough funds? No.
No, because it will be, it'll be different.
Yep.
It'll have different programming, and that is going to be, I think they said, did they say only one more year before it'll be obsolete, so altogether, so.
There is one thing about the school running their own election, I don't think they can run it simultaneously to us.
As far as just processing and counting their own ballots.
Yeah, they can,
Yeah.
right, but they're not actually having a separate.
No, like people would still vote the exact, to the voter, it would look the same. We might just say school ballots here, town ballots here. Sorting, as you all know, sorting at the end of the night is huge, so that would cut down on that. And then primaries. We could separate the ballots too. And again, so just a thought. I don't remember, you all must, we did actually receive full funding. We did raise and appropriate the funds via warrant article for the new device, but we ended up getting the full amount reimbursed, I believe, from the state.
3,500.
Oh, so a portion of it, so we did have a savings there. I'm sure Lori, I don't have that number in hand, but you all might.
And they're paying for the accessible unit too, correct?
Yes, they are also have said at our last conference, they said they will in fact be paying for that, because that was another expense I was worried that we were gonna have to bear. They will be purchasing that.
We just respond, you've already paid for it every year anyway, but we have to pay for the software.
Yes, and the only software we would have to pay for each election would be our town elections.
The programming.
Yeah, they would be paying for the programming for the state and any state and federal and all that, so. Again,
But
I just.
keep it here.
Yes.
Yes, we will keep it. It will now be, I think what they said is like maybe they're still exploring exactly how it's gonna work. Are we renting it from them or are we owning it? But either way, they will be covering the cost.
Everything
So,
I've read is that they're going to have us have custody of it.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
I
right.
think technically they will own it.
Right.
And just for full disclosure, we go ahead with poll pads for 2026 programming. We do have a cost, it's $300 per election. And then we're
Is
having
that per
one
poll?
election programming cost for the year for all the pads, just one. Like you don't have that in year one, you wouldn't have it till year two. That's $300, that's not per pad. And then programming per election would be 300. Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize. I did something wrong. It's $300 times 3 for each elections, or 3 elections in 2026, rather, if we have them. This is 2026 because it really would be 2027 at this point, so.
And what's the lead time on getting those?
I don't know, do you remember if they pulled pads? I could check on
I think
that.
it's pretty quick. I think that.
Yeah, they were kind of chomping at the bit to sell to us, so I assume that'll be much faster than it was for the machines, because they're already approved. The poll pads are already fully approved and fully in function. The machine we waited on, because they were still waiting for some last minute approvals for that, so.
You'd start with 3.
What?
You'd start with 3 poll pads.
Yes, and then if the supervisors did want pads, then we could add that in the future, which, it's however one, so one of those.
Can you buy 3, get 1 free? Deals?
I don't know. Well, I'm wondering too if they'll offer, because they are the ones encouraging all this new technology, I'm hoping that again, they will offer another kickback for towns that have, because even the one they gave last time could have been used to purchase poll pads or that device,
Yeah.
so I don't think that's gone. So the fee for the next year, not the first year, would be $1,200. Again, should I choose to run to be moderator again, I would again happily donate my salary to wipe that cost off, because I do feel strongly about it helping with a lot of the issues that we, are facing. Shortage of election workers, mistakes being made by very tired and overworked election
I think
workers.
speeding up.
And just our space, yeah, I mean, the towns I have, and I did a lot of research, I reached out to everyone, because I know some people were skeptical. I mean, you are reducing your time down from like several minutes to under a minute. For those people who are comfortable with it, you can literally scan their ID to check them in. So that also, so that also increases, you know, speed as well as accuracy. So that is, I don't know that did Ellen
Does that
print
make,
those?
I'm still trying to, but does that make it the actual, they'll still have a piece of paper that they have to feed into the machine, but we're thinking the
Yeah,
machine?
ballot.
Yes, the poll.
ballot.
Yeah, the poll pad is an electric, sorry, I forgot, I talked about it last year, but probably forgotten at this point. The poll pad is, you know, the
Check in.
book when you check in, that replaces that.
Cause I feel like, but the new machines were the ballot machines we are thinking are going, cause that was really
Well,
where
that's
our
that's
backup.
separate, the ballot machine.
I understand that, but the three, you're talking about moving people into the ballot area quicker. In every election I have seen, typically our biggest backup is the ballot machine.
Only at town elections, and that is
Okay.
correct.
Cause it was the
And that
double-sided,
is
3 pages.
You got it.
It was
We're
super-
like putting
3
in
pages.
20 pages. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
and we, of course, the old machine is old and it was jamming. Folded absentee ballots are jamming the machine. So again, I do think the new machine is gonna solve some of it, but you know, we've talked about that.
Okay.
Even when we spoke to them, I said, you know, that is an issue with these towns that have double-sided like we do. All the every amendment or every warrant is 5 more pages. So it could, even the new one is only gonna be able to process
Okay.
so much at a time.
I was
So,
just thinking like, you're like, yeah, we're gonna get people in quicker, and I'm like,
yes,
but I feel like that's just gonna cause, that's
Still
just
be a
moving
bottleneck.
the problem downstream, but we're
Yeah.
hoping that that one's gonna.
But assuming we get a second machine,
yes.
Which we
that
budgeted
will
for, right?
speed up that
Yes.
processing.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, which is why I presented sort of both together, because I do think we have a twofold problem. And ultimately, we just have a space problem, so,
And then just looking at
That's a
this
different story.
yeah.
the budget proposal, so with the new ones, you show election printing
Is
being,
that printed? Did Ellen print it for you?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, we've
what
got
are
it.
you looking at?
We're looking at-
line 35, but the printing,
Oh,
were
this is
budgeted-
not my, no, she didn't give you. This
No?
was what I put together for,
did you?
I think you're looking just at the
Probably.
election budget, proposed
Yeah.
election
Yeah.
budget.
Printing probably.
So that was just my $8,800. I only handle the actual budget for employees running the election. That would be $8,800, which would be pretty small for next year. I think you're probably looking at printing a ballots line in the election budget.
we have to pay for the town
Yeah.
ballots to be.
Which, as I understand
Who's
from
gonna talk
Lori-
about this portion here?
Yeah, cause I was wondering about that, cause I noticed an overdraw and I was like, wait, did we make that? But apparently we've shifted printing costs that are typically elsewhere in the budget for ballots to come out of that budget, so that's probably why you're seeing that number. Do you wanna talk to that more? Cause there is a negative $7,500 in that line.
In the printing of.
I mean,
Yes,
so.
is that what you're talking about, Matt?
Election printing was budgeted for $4,200 for 2025. We spent $7,700,
Yes.
but for 26, we're only showing $1,000. And then the line above it says there's gonna be 3 elections, and I'm like, how can we have 3 elections and have our,
I have no idea who put any of those figures.
Yeah,
in.
we don't, those are not from us.
They're not.
Okay.
Just got plugged in.
That's why I didn't know what you were talking about. Sorry.
no, that's okay.
That
So
explains
you're,
it. I'm only in charge of this piece.
so the,
Kurt, I wonder if that's
You do.
There
only
was a
part of that number based on something else.
Yes.
Because many things go into this
Right.
budget.
yeah.
okay,
There was a shift in the why you had the negative, as I understand, is there was a shift for where in the it's not that you're really shortfall in the budget overall for that. It was just a shift from where it was pulled from.
I mean, cause when you mentioned earlier, we have about 5,000 left, like the bottom line items approved was like 18.5 for your elections budget.
Yeah.
And we've spent 13.1, so that fit in with what you were saying, so
Yeah.
that's why,
Yeah.
I
just
don't know
that
where
amount.
the proposed
I know.
is.
So we actually really even had more in the election budget. Is this just that someone made a clerical decision to move the printing of ballots was in a separate line, or the mailing of ballots, right? Was under postage somewhere else.
Cause there's a weird thing where we print the school ones and we got reimbursed from the school?
No,
No?
no, we don't get reimbursed at all.
So we paid for it?
We pay for all of their balance.
Okay.
There were a lot of ballots. There was also,
So then just to speak, so then there's the line item for the supervisor's salary.
Yep.
Which is what you have here?
nope, that would be the supervisors or the checklist who would give you
So
those
That's
numbers.
a different one, okay, so this is like a, okay.
Yeah, we're like a 3-part team plus whatever, really 4, cause you all also have really set and control the budget, and then we just give you our individual pieces. My individual piece is the workers, which should be the $8,800 budget I gave you.
Yeah,
That is
and
what-
I don't know where that
That
fits
is what
on
we
here.
need. That is what we need for 2026, the
So would that
$8,800.
be
For election.
election
Elections. Yep.
salaries?
Yep.
Alright, so that,
Not supervisors or Lori, who
not moderator, but the one below it.
my
Right, so
moderator.
the moderator line would be you. And then
Yes.
the election salaries is this, rest of this stuff.
This sheet here that
Yes.
she gave us.
Alright,
Yeah, the
Yep.
88.
but then that,
Yep,
'cause
we have the
the-
town deliberative, the town election, the state primary, and the state or general election.
So this,
So
this yellow
2026.
box should be 8,800.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
okay,
I
that
didn't
was
get
kinda
sent
tied to
any
a
of
text, I was
that.
like, this,
Yeah.
something's not making sense.
I
Okay.
know, I was confused too, so, but I didn't get sent
And then
an update.
So you're,
you're trying to fit this other stuff into 2025 stuff.
what?
The poll pads and,
Yeah,
Oh.
the, right, so we had that surplus of $5,411.58, so the poll pads.
so that's a different conversation we'd be having.
Yes.
As opposed to.
Yep.
That, yeah,
But assuming we can do that.
Yep.
Then we need to make sure that there's the correct amounts in for the programming of them and stuff like that.
Correct, which I included in the
Okay,
budget.
you have,
Yep,
so that's
I
already
put
in
that all
the
together.
budget.
Yep, I put that all, I don't, so you didn't get this?
So I'm not sure
not
where.
that,
No.
Give it to, I'll give it to Tim, so he.
yeah, he's the numbers guy, literally his profession. Totally different numbers.
I know, I
Okay.
even color coded it to make it easy to read, and I didn't get it, sorry.
Yeah, looking at these lines after a while.
I know, that's why I make them big and colorful, so.
And just before, we have 2 heads of the 3-person. Dee doesn't have any other things that she would be requesting,
No,
or just so we know for the end of the year, if we look at these poll pad.
I know they had new
'Cause it's the
computers
same.
purchased
Should have,
That was last
year,
or this
so.
year, right, it was per the
Year,
budget
yeah.
for this year.
So they're pretty up to date, I think, and maybe 3 for the 3 of them, did they purchase 3, 2 or 3, so.
I think they got 2 last year.
Yeah, and they've already transferred their system to the new data collection system that the state is having us use, so other than their salary, you know,
Right, their
their
big thing is their
salaries.
salaries with
salaries.
increased hours because of extra elections. You know, plus whatever the state demands of them.
Yes,
That's their biggest thing is like the state. has
again,
to-
those demands grow every year. I want to reiterate that I, as someone who does elections, and really all of the background work is not done by me, it is done by this lady and the registering by the supervisor, so I don't think when this job was created, it really anticipated the size and scope of elections, so I definitely support the town clerk's office shifting to a little bit more, something a little bit more conducive to the amount of hours that are actually required to do all these things, and for one person to handle the election stuff and the town clerk stuff simultaneously right before an election. I do not know how that is accomplished, so. That is my 2 cents for the year, and yeah.
So we'll address the poll pads at a future meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because if
Yeah.
we see what we have
Right.
left over
Yeah.
and,
December meeting.
right, in December, that's the
I brought it up last year in hopes of, you know, that what we were getting from the state to maybe be able, but I think we worded the warrant article in
Right, the
such a
warrant
way
article
that-
was specific to
Yes,
sheet.
yeah,
Yeah.
so just because it was offered for use for either,
I think Ellen can explain how come the printing is in a
Yeah.
different area. I think she moved some stuff around.
it appeared in like one, like over and nobody, I asked, but I didn't get it. I asked Betsy, I didn't, she might not have been the appropriate person to ask, she didn't know, and then Lori seemed to think that it was mailing more than printing, right?
Postage,
Like the mailing of.
I mean, we still have it at $750 and you've spent $130 for the year, so I mean,
Oh,
it's,
it's maybe not.
Right.
and we were budgeted $750 before due to the increased postage, so I don't think that was,
Yeah.
I think
And it's-
Lori
And I
asked
wonder if
for-
some of that should change based on the year and elections, because
Yeah.
when we have to send out the absentees,
Exactly, especially for a big, when presidential, you know,
Right.
I'm sure that's gonna be a much bigger demand
right, and
than-
it should probably have peaks and valleys to go along with those election
This
years.
year didn't make sense because this year we only had the town elections. Also, again, it was 1,000,000 pages, so I don't know what it cost to mail that, but
But I'm sure that we had,
yeah,
Less being
I know
mailed.
that we were adequately covered in the budget. That is reflecting something else, and I do not know what, so.
Yeah.
'Cause it popped out to me as well.
You made a good case.
I know that the supervisors do sometimes have to send out mailings as well, but, right, and some of that's dependent on what those quote-unquote state projects.
Right, the purge year.
Right.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Then planning and zoning, let's see, here, are you
No.
presenting planning?
Who?
Dirk is not here. But I can present, I guess, so basically, we looked at this in our meeting last week, or 2 weeks ago.
Planning board.
Planning board. We looked at this and we thought most of the stuff looked pretty good. The thing we wanted to make sure is that we did appropriately cover the SRPC dues. We found that to be really helpful. So we did vote in to pay it for this year and join, so that comes due like for July 1st.
That's good.
We kind of took a swag at what that was based on this year. Do you remember anything on that stuff?
The SRPC?
No, on our budget stuff.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. I know, I remember you said you'd be here, but
Who can remember all this stuff?
Well, I watched that live.
it was
And
mostly,
SRPC said that you could make payments, is that correct? You didn't have to give them a lump sum.
oh, no, I don't know about that, but, we took a vote, I mean, basically, we took last year's number, I think, and put that in here as a placeholder. But I think pretty much everything else we looked at and kind of thought they made sense. So,
Um,
it's not
John,
hugely different.
can you help me with the line item 98? Legal, 500 approved, 16,282.
That's you get that reimbursed.
And that is,
Right.
well, I see that, right,
Right, that's
right.
offsetting
And is that
revenue,
the
so-
only offsetting income?
So one of the questions I did throw out
Postage.
to Ellen was that the postage, I believe, should have offsetting revenue as well.
That's my
But-
thing this year, is trying to identify
Right,
offsetting revenue.
Right, but I wasn't sure how much of it was offsetting, and I
Yeah, no,
sent
I
her that
get it, no, I
question,
get it,
and I, she's out on vacation this week, so
Yeah.
I didn't get a response.
I mean, 98 actually says it's reimbursed.
Right, but I
but I
believe,
wanted to.
I believe line 87 should have an OS as well, at least for part of it.
Okay.
And same thing with line 92, right? For advertising.
92,
Advertising, yeah.
probably 92 as well. We didn't
I think
discuss
the
that one at
main
our
one-
meeting, but
The bigger official document, like,
Oh,
I feel like the bigger one said it, but maybe not, maybe it's a different, maybe zoning says it.
she did say that we should have some in there, but I wasn't sure if it was all. The bigger document does not, it only has it for legal and escrow stuff,
Must be different.
whatever that one is.
but I find it very helpful to have it noted, even if it isn't the amount that's offset.
Zero.
I can look that up, but
Sorry?
I just find it really helpful to have some kind of notation that there's offsetting revenue. Even if
Yes,
the amount isn't
right.
there, I can look it up, but it's very helpful to me anyway.
Right, those, yes, the advertising, I'm pretty sure should also, because we did vote that stuff in a couple of years ago.
Thanks.
I think that, to follow it down for planning right into zoning, postage and advertising are the same thing there. I think they're both offsetting as well.
I think so.
I would assume for zoning, I don't know.
Yeah,
And they've stayed
Yeah,
pretty
Doug,
much the same.
You gotta, are you still, you know, you're not are you still in zoning, Doug?
No.
No.
so much
The zoning wasn't exciting.
zoning is.
Anything else for planning board?
Their
I mean,
budget
it's
was-
basically the same as it was, so.
That's it for the
SRPC, right?
budget, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
the important,
Oh, no,
thing. He's in the
yeah.
SRPC, that's the, that's key.
I was really happy to see that go back on.
All right, policy review update. So Ellen had given to us a month ago at our, not the last meeting, before that in September, the investment policy statement, I don't know. The investment policy, I don't know if you had an opportunity to review that.
I did.
We haven't made any changes to it.
No,
Seems pretty
We just have
just change
to,
the dates on it.
we just have to
Right,
read
it was. Yeah, I mean, it seems like it should just be pretty straightforward.
Yeah, but I think we're gonna have to vote on it at our next meeting. Well, I don't have it, it's not, the signed one isn't here. So we can vote to approve it at our next meeting.
We can't do it this time?
We don't have it.
We don't
The
have,
investment policy?
we don't have to sign.
to sign.
Oh, we don't have to sign, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, we don't have the one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Signed.
okay, sorry.
It was in the last folder, but we don't have this one.
Yeah, so it must have gotten taken out.
Yep.
All right.
So move
And
that.
then e-bikes, so
Okay, fine.
the rec director had sent an email regarding use of e-bikes in town, and I'm sure everybody's seen an increased usage of electronic bikes in town. Her big concern was the use of electronic bikes on the fields, and whether or not the select board would be willing to entertain an ordinance to limit the use of the electronic bikes on the fields.
Well, in addition to electronic bikes on the fields, we probably shouldn't have any regular bicycles
Right.
on the fields as well.
No, I was looking
So-
through a couple of towns, there's a couple of towns in New Hampshire I found that have a bike policy, which, you know, basically it says trails, bike lanes, we don't have bike lanes, but.
Yeah, I think it would probably be wise of us to do something.
And I mean, the state of New Hampshire does have e-bike laws, but of course, it's up to the towns to implement where in the town they want to allow them to be driven. But there's basically 3 different classes of e-bikes, and any e-bike that goes over 20 miles an hour is not considered a bike. It's actually an OHRV.
Oh,
Should be a moped.
never be simple.
Right.
They're all mopeds in my
Well,
mind.
the nice thing about a moped is you can hear it coming.
Right.
You can't even hear an e-bike coming.
That's true, yeah.
Same thing with cars.
Well, same with an electric car though.
Right.
You know, you can't hear those coming in.
I mean, I think her biggest concern was seeing it up around the playground. We're saying not on the fields. Are we looking for just some signage? It just,
it would be signage and
we're
then
dealing with
policy.
kids like riding bikes. Are we having actual like issues? Or is it something that can be corrected like, hey, don't ride your bike here, kid? And then
Right.
kids-
Well, you have to have a policy or an ordinance in place to follow up.
I mean, I would assume they would be allowed in the parking lot,
Right,
because if they're riding themselves to
get there.
Has it been damaged?
I don't think it was the damage as much as when, especially here, when she had the summer program, and has the kids out there, you know, kids would be cruising through, on the e-bikes, and they do go pretty fast. I mean, I don't think there's many kids
Fast.
riding regular bikes on the field, cause it's a little bit harder to ride, but it's mostly the e-bikes. I've seen it over at Marston during games and stuff where they cruise around, but.
How many kids are riding e-bikes out there? Like 8?
Oh, no,
You know,
a lot of
I
them.
haven't seen many.
There's a lot,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm still torn on the creating like a full
I know.
policy for it. I mean, I would, maybe a sign that just says no bicycles or no bikes, so it covers
Don't ride on
pedal
the
and
fields.
whatever.
Yeah.
In the playground area, but even the field, it's a field, and if you're trying to go through the field to get to the trail,
Foot traffic only.
but across the field portion of it, I mean,
No, you put them in the parking lot.
I'm just trying to get into like, we're a very rural community, if you're trying to get to trails or do something with a bike, getting people outside,
Are
what-
bikes allowed on the trails?
That is a fantastic question.
Right.
So,
That's-
again, it's up to the town, and you'd work with, you know, the Conservation Commission to figure out, okay, do you want to allow these bikes, and then which classes? Is it, do you allow the ones that can only go, you know, 50 miles an hour, but they have to be pedaled, you know, it's assisted basically power, or is it all e-bikes? The ones that go over 20 miles an hour definitely should not be,
Only
you know,
to be
on the
used, feel
trails.
like going home.
Yeah. And they're not wide, I haven't been back there, the what, trails wide enough for a bike and
People.
people?
And so
I haven't heard any
I don't know.
issues,
I haven't
but-
been on them, so.
I see the kids on them, and it
I mean,
scares me, but nothing's happened.
I mean, there's a couple of times I've been in Pawtucket and I've seen people on normal bikes come through, and I don't know if I've seen anybody on an e-bike come through, so I think it's definitely like, our jurisdiction doesn't,
I feel like I'm freedom to start, they can't really.
I'm just trying to,
Imagine.
A lot of places I've been through, and I travel a lot, e-bikes are not allowed on any of, bikes are, but there's no motorized vehicle.
From what I was reading, it was all, they followed the same rules as the OHRVs, that you cannot, these are, yeah, so, but anyway. That, I think that would be an additional discussion.
Right.
Right.
I mean, I would rather, find some close, similar town, what they might have, and then have us review similar documents, and be like, what does this look like for us? I get that they're out there, and part of it is just how the police might enforce
Yeah.
that,
is it
like how
enforced? Yeah. Is it
being on the
enforceable?
streets, but then our actual portion of being like on town properties.
We should probably get some input from them as well.
I think they're just kinda, I think it grew very big this past year.
It did, I think it,
There was a very good version that was on Amazon for like $300, and now like all the kids have them, because it was just like and I
Yeah.
was surprised, I mean,
See
we
the
were
regular
looking at
bikes
it
anymore.
too, cause even for somebody like myself, when I tried one of them, we'll move a big man like myself down the road. But they're made with racks, so you could put like fishing gear and everything else,
Yeah.
like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a,
They're cool.
they're selling them to outdoorsmen as well, to get you farther than if you had to walk there. But then if we're saying you can't do that,
They weigh a ton.
Yeah.
Especially the $300.
We'll hang out at Liars to see a ton of them there,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
for sure, the kids are all there.
alright, I mean, I would wait to see some additional documents, but I'm not
Yeah,
really sold on the
Kinda hate to dive right into too much of
more
that.
rules.
need some proposals.
I don't think there's many towns because it's so new, from when I was digging
I know.
into it last
Yeah.
week.
Right, I mean, it exploded this past year.
They are a little dicey
It
though.
Electric
Yeah, but
scooters,
that's a whole
electric scooters
state
are
level
scary.
issue.
Right, it is a state level issue because the state decided that they were not mopeds and granted them, you know, if they switched them back to mopeds, then they'd have to collect, you'd have to be 16 to drive them, have a driver's license, and, you know, they would have to be registered like a
Yeah.
moped.
Yeah.
With a vehicle, you know.
You have to go
Think
a
about-
certain
think
mile
about-
an hour. They do
20.
have to be.
Yeah, over 20.
Think about the income that they're losing.
It's true.
Alright, so we'll look into seeing if we can get Ellen to pull together some other ordinances and then maybe work with the police department, conservation commission, get their input.
That's good.
And then municipal rentals, I didn't see the policy in the packet, but so,
I
just to
haven't
give
seen
you some
anything.
background. So the town used to rent out the facilities to,
Oh, sure, for private,
for private
Parties
functions.
or whatever,
And then
right,
stopped
yes,
in
yes,
2020 or 21.
During
Stop
COVID.
during
COVID
COVID.
Yeah,
times.
and then, part of the concern was that the level of maintenance that was required after private events to clean up, and the cost for renting it out wasn't covering
Just
that.
the use
number
of an aging building.
Right.
That is a lot more use, yeah. Yeah, that's a concern. So is the idea that we'd like to go back to those, or just?
I mean,
There's been a lot of requests, I think,
Oh,
Courtney's email was basically being like, I'm being bombarded, is there something you wanna do? We have the different, you know, the groups that sign up that are also like operating through, and the quilters and like bigger organizations, but just somebody throwing a one-off birthday we haven't done, or a retirement party, or there's one, like almost like a funeral thing that they wanna do one time, they wanted to.
and we allowed that.
Yeah. And I think that's just for the town hall, cause there's the old, that one has no heat over by the school, the SAU building, correct?
That'd
Right,
be
that-
seasonal.
Right, that room, or whatever you wanna call it,
Old
does
Town
not-
Hall.
yeah, the old town hall, that big room, does not have any heat. And then the rest of it is the SAU. Except for the
There's
upstairs.
two old, no insulation, so I mean, just throwing in a,
Well, because the oil ran out.
Yeah,
I was
well, that's
checking
why,
it.
right, that's why it doesn't have heat anymore, because
Yeah.
the old
yeah.
furnace ran out of oil
I
or
just like to
something.
mention that
and
every.
it-
We'd never let that
Nobody
happen
went
again.
in there and checked on it,
Right.
and stuff flooded.
Imploded, right, yeah. I mean, it would be nice to put a couple of these mini splits in there and be able to use that.
It's a lot of money, how long is it gonna take you to get that back though?
But only if you're gonna rent it out.
Right,
Right. Well, another concern was that when it's rented out, the organizations, it sounds like, are very responsible for closing up the building and cleaning it out. It's the private events, sometimes the door's been left unlocked, or.
Yeah, the organizations do, I think she mentioned they have insurance, so if they cause any damage, we can, whatever, but if it's a private event, comes in for a birthday party, and then they break a door or a window, and then they're kinda like, oh, that was broken when we got here, I mean, we have enough security cameras, we should be able to catch it, but.
Make them deposit,
Be it a
make them
month-
put a deposit
Yeah.
down.
That's it, yeah.
Well, there is a fee, that's the thing, the fee would most likely, yes, would have to go up quite a bit. I think the bigger concern was the maintenance, the cleaning is finding out
Maintenance
what
and
the one,
cleaning, yeah.
what the one-time fee would be to
Deposit that,
have it cleaned.
But when you do that, you're making it a community center. That's what we want.
Well, I think, yeah, and we're open to, you know, most of the community organizations that request from Courtney time here for meeting space, or to, you know, for the Girl
Shorter
Scouts and the Boy
space.
Scouts, and, yeah, it's more for the private events. And then the other piece she had mentioned was a schedule, which I think
right.
that should be easy enough with OneDrive for them to manage the schedule for, but. I don't think just-
Was she concerned about field rentals too?
No, I think she was just providing that as,
Just a building rental.
right, yeah.
don't know, allow it, but charge a lot.
Well,
Limit it.
I think finding out from Ellen what the one-time fee would be for cleaning and then charging them at least for that.
Yeah.
Cause I know that, you know.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. I mean, cleaning's such a problem anyway, and maintenance such a problem anyway.
And they'd have to come in a weekend, if it's a weekend event, so.
So maybe we investigate.
There is a
like,
need, 'cause there's-
quote, the maids or something too.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we
It's
have
not
a company, we would just have to have them come in additionally.
And then
Right,
Monday
but-
morning, first thing.
But if they couldn't, or wouldn't, you could just use another firm,
Yeah.
Right, if it's a one-time,
private, or
if it's a
local
one-time
person, yeah,
thing,
who does cleaning,
you know, non-scheduled.
yeah, like per diem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be nice to have space for things, I mean, given the fact there's no restaurant or anything.
Alright, so we'll get some more information from Ellen about the costs.
Okay.
And then since Courtney gave birth to her baby a couple weeks early, she'll be back in December, so we can review with Bridget as well. Anything else on that?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Action items from last meetings, Mendel Road, I don't think we've heard back on the next step for that.
I haven't heard anything.
We did make the decision to go ahead.
To try to go ahead,
Legal, yeah.
right, the legal side of it. The select board role in the subdivision process. So I know you wanted this by December, now we're
I
Six
tick,
weeks away.
tick, tick, guys.
know,
Let's get this over with.
And it's,
Now it's only
It-
6 weeks away.
yeah. I'll reach out to Dale, I guess, to find out some more.
I mean, I would think it would almost just be a quick conversation with Ellen and we just write it up.
Right,
And
cause it's
just-
just, I
Right,
mean,
I
as
don't
far
think
as
there's
I know,
anything
it's just
formal.
those two things.
Right.
And it's just putting it in the
Where it
calendar.
belongs, but
And
maybe.
Dale is gonna take ownership of the whole thing, so I will reach out to Dale.
So we know street naming comes somewhat later at least, yeah.
Right, but I'll reach out to Dale and say, what do you need from us specifically, because this is what we know. And he committed to having a draft of that document by that date.
Yep. And I think, and we're small potatoes in the
Right,
big
we're
picture,
small
so
pota-
let's
right,
just do
right.
it and give it to them and be done with it before.
Exactly, cause we,
to
I
crazy
mean, we
town.
have those two things we know of. If there's stuff other than that, we don't know.
Exactly, and so somebody will probably figure it out for us if there is other, but I think it's pretty straightforward right now, and if we put it on letterhead and sign it and give it to him, he'll put it in order for us.
I will reach out to Dale on that.
Thank you.
Okay, it's on you.
Yeah, thanks. My fault.
What's that?
It's my fault. I'm the one that enforced him to put a deadline on the whole thing.
No, it's good, right? 'Cause,
Right,
you know,
no, it's
yeah.
why I'm,
And then
forced
he
him to put
paid
a
me to
deadline.
dag you, no.
yeah, no, that's, I appreciate that.
And then a follow-up on our conversation from our last meeting in regards to a cease and desist order at 15 Smoke Street. There was only 3 of us here at that meeting.
Right.
So, full board here wanted to revisit, taking action on that or not. We have the letter in place to stop the second business that's operating out of 15 Smoke Street, the porta potties. And this would provide that to take action and then submit something to the planning board to get approved if they would like to continue to operate a
To get
business.
them to the planning board.
So my only concern about the whole thing is that did we, the Board of Selectmen, because when we basically told them that they didn't have to have a completed application, did we assist them enough to get that application in front of the planning board? That's my problem. You know, I feel like we missed a step there.
It was told to bring in the application and sit
Mhm.
down with Nick, and he was there.
Right, well,
And
he
they
wasn't,
didn't go
they came on a day that he wasn't there.
No, they
No,
came
no,
on
no,
a day
I
that
was
he was
there, he
here.
was there, yeah.
They did not go see Nick.
So,
They
And
dro-
it was
they
said,
dropped it
Nick
off.
will help you and make sure site plan, not site plan, will help you just fill this out. You do not need to have the land surveyed. But
Just
you need to have
conceptual.
a
right,
conceptual
it's conceptual, yes.
on a napkin. He will help you fill out the paperwork.
Mhm.
And my hope had been that
And
you
they
could
didn't.
walk them through it, you know,
Right.
help them, yeah, you know,
But
but they didn't.
did we give them enough guidance? That's, I feel that, you know, this thing should have been resolved a long time ago. It's gone on way too long. And when we said, you don't have to have a complete application to get in front of the planning board,
Mistake.
that was probably a mistake.
But that wasn't the complete sentence. So you're saying something on public that's going to construe everybody out there. That was not what was said. It was said you do not have to have a completed form with a survey. Bring in the form and we will sit with you. And the person was here to sit with them and they didn't go see him. So
Yeah, no,
what
I-
more
I-
can we do? So,
Right, right.
but
I
you
get
can't say that we
I-
didn't do it because you're stopping at you're putting a period where it shouldn't be. You're saying that we said file in an incomplete form. That's not what we said. That was not what Ellen said, is to not file an incomplete. It said it didn't have to be complete
It didn't have
with
to be.
survey. There is a difference. The paperwork has to be completed.
Mhm.
And the conceptual wasn't even done.
Right, the conceptual wasn't done. I get
Nothing
that.
was
I
done.
So
understand.
there's nothing for the
It's-
planning board to put on an
Right,
agenda.
they won't put it on the
Parties
agenda
were
without it
moved
being
today, is
completed,
that correct?
and
What's
I-
that?
The
I
parties
just,
were not moved today?
They were
Sorry.
not moved.
so they're still not moved.
We'll open it up to public comment at the end of the meeting.
I
In a bit.
personally have called out and tried to even
And this is
guide
what I wanted to hear, because,
and just been like, there is currently a complaint for 15 Smoke Street that there were 2 businesses operating out of there, and they believed one wasn't documented. It was reviewed by Dale. There was Roland Septic, and that is fine to be there. And this porta potty has been determined to be operating out of there. It is not okay to be there because the people don't live there.
agree completely.
So it was said, remove the porta potties, and that complaint stops because the complaint doesn't follow a business, it's for the property. But they didn't even do that. So that's where we're still in a bind of if they removed that complaint would end. And that's what we're just trying to help them with, and then you can get into the next part of it, of the planning board or the zoning board for either 15 or I don't know technically if they're on Kelsey or McCrillis or where.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's-
Of the portion of there, or if they were able to find a commercial letter, or that's like another whole, that's not even part of the discussion. The discussion is for 15 Smoke Street.
15 Smoke Street, that's all that matters.
Getting the
Right.
porta potties out of there.
Right, and the porta potties do not belong at 15 Smoke Street. I agree to that, because that is not part of their 3
And there-
trucks.
And then we had
Right,
confusion.
and that is not the issue.
Right,
At the
right,
beginning where we were told that they were being stored. And then we understood that it's not being stored. Storage would be like leaving them there for an extended period of time. There's driving to and from several times a week, if not more. So I mean, I don't know what else we could have done. I hear what you're saying, but at the
Yeah,
same
it's
point,
just-
let's make sure we say it correctly so it doesn't make sure that we're
More
not doing
confusion,
something.
yeah.
The words were, you don't have to get a full survey done because of the truncated time period, because they wouldn't have been able to, and that would have been a financial burden on them within the short window. We needed a form to come in, and by the way, please come sit with the guy that has to submit your paperwork. He will make sure that it's filled out correctly. They didn't, and they actually said, filed under duress, and did nothing, and didn't even fill it
right,
out
and that
correctly.
was, yes, and that was wrong.
So that's where we're at. I
Yeah.
feel, it's not like this is
Nobody likes
personal.
to do it,
And-
yeah.
But at the same point, there was a valid complaint, and if we're like, well, we're not gonna follow up on it, then we're culpable on that other end too.
No, the complaint was excellently written, very
Okay,
A
specific,
long time ago.
a long time ago, and should have never gotten to this point.
yeah,
But I feel it's like all we have left is,
Yeah,
we gotta, yeah.
we have tried multiple ways, and I think that's part of, to be like, this is what we need to do. And it's just not,
Well, you need to apply the rules fairly to
Right,
everybody,
right.
right?
I
No
was just
matter-
looking for a little bit of closure on the whole getting that paperwork filled out properly, you know, right,
But
because
even
when
at that-
when it got rejected, because that was the part that it got rejected after they were told to sit with, you know, and have the paperwork filled out. So that's the piece that is like, okay, so there was a rejection date. How, from that rejection date, what occurred? You know?
But my understanding is, I mean, the planning board, they have their own rules, right?
Right, the
It's up
planning board
to
has their own
the-
rules, I'm not
the
talking,
chair, yeah.
I'm not talking about the planning board. Planning board rejected it because it's incomplete, get it, makes perfect sense.
We didn't reject it.
Right,
Yeah.
planning board said the
Saying nothing
application is
to go with.
incomplete, we can't review this.
Right.
So.
and I don't even know if they had submitted, if you look at how a major or minor, how even the words are sitting right here. It is Emmy's porta potty and on a different location in town. And I don't know how the planning board even would have handled that as
That's why
well.
we passed it on to them.
That's
But
correct.
otherwise,
That's
right.
why-
They need to
Which is
review it,
why,
yeah.
you know, I wanted it to get in front of the planning board.
Yes.
And that's what
That's
we've
what I
tried to
liked.
help them do.
And I know we tried to help them do that.
So I don't know what's, and then we've said, okay, the next step is if you don't want this complaint, or like the complaint says porta potties on lot here.
Right.
If the porta potties are not here, the complaint ends.
And this cease and desist
One anyway.
that is here does say you are hereby ordered to immediately cease any further use of the above identified property for business activities associated with the operation of Emmy's porta potties. That's what the cease and desist is for, is the porta potties.
Right.
Not for Roland Septic.
Correct.
Roland Septic is fully
That
zoned
one
and
is
proper to
zoned
be.
properly and
Welcome.
so. Right. So.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
it's,
too bad we
I
came to this
think
point,
we
but
are
yeah.
at the point where this is the last straw.
I think this is just going to maybe help them. I think we've been trying to help them. This is going to be the only thing. I don't know what else we can do because there's been too many tactics or things that we've heard that haven't happened that have gotten us to this point. I just don't know what else to do.
No, I agree. There's
So
nothing.
I just need a motion to approve the cease and desist for us to sign, because the select board has to sign off on that.
I'm gonna recuse myself from this decision based on personal issues, so.
Okay?
And are you the only one that signs this? We're just signing that the town,
We approve it, Tim will sign it. So I will make a motion that Tim signs on the behalf of the select board the cease and desist order per RSA 676:17-A for 15 Smoke Street in regards to the porta potties stored there.
I second.
A motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And
Abstaining, Steve.
Steve, yep, recuse, whatever.
The motion carries. Action items from prior meetings, action items for next meeting, so I will get Ellen information about what we need for the rental policy.
Yep.
As well as the e-bikes. I don't think we stop riding them anytime soon, so I
Right.
think at least starting to address it or thinking about addressing it with the Police Department, Conservation Commission would be important. John, you're going to reach out to Dale to get our steps so that we can get that off the plate.
Confirm our 2 steps
Yes.
and the dates
Yep.
that they're needed.
And then we will be meeting a week from tonight for our bonus meeting for
Yay.
the month of October. This will not be a regular meeting. This will just be a meeting to review the budgets for the fire department, police department, and highway department. Oh, and Conservation Commission, because they couldn't make it tonight.
Oh, yeah, they moved.
If,
Second of many,
Was that?
second of many
Yes.
presentations.
yes, I'll ask you later, so.
Was that?
Something about possibly on that budget presentation, but I'll talk to you later. So,
Never mind.
I think I just got tired.
And then our next regular meeting will be November 3rd. We'll do a more comprehensive 2026 budget review and start looking at proposed warrant articles.
CIP is gonna meet before that, so
Okay.
I will try and make sure that we don't go over. I will not allow them to go over, but we could be close to the last few minutes.
Any other action items for the next meeting?
I think so.
That's all I have.
The possible highway department,
Oh, yeah.
grader issue, either on the, that's what I was gonna say, either at the budget committee next weekend, because we're borrowing the thing already, or
No.
the
Excavator.
10/27 meeting or the 11/3 meeting.
11/3, because the 10/27 is just a budget review, so we would.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Can we do that at the next meeting?
No,
I'll move
it's
it,
just gonna be budget.
whatever. I think
Okay, I didn't know if it was pressing that.
he's just using it. I think they're letting him use it so that he can sell it.
I wouldn't be anxious to move on it until spring anyway, so
And sell it sitting here.
not gonna use it after a very short period of time.
So yeah, so we'll review that at the November 3rd meeting.
Okay.
Can open it up to public comment. Just remind you have 3 minutes to come up, just state your name and address.
Yes. My name is Frank Gonsalves, and for the last 8 visits I've had with you folks, I'm very disappointed in your reaction to serve and protect the taxpayers. The incident that is specific these days, not only the 5,000 tons of salt that they bought in 20 to 23, but at almost 1:45 in the morning in the rain at 36 degrees, Steve Rollins sends his man out, Mark, which Ellen has verified, to come down our street at 3 miles an hour, dumping at full speed, pure salt. I've got documentation now.
Just to clarify though, that Ellen didn't verify that that happened.
She did to me. Anyway, that's not the issue tonight.
But
I just
but
wanna
wait a
tell you
second.
that-
You told us that it was a different company,
It was Deerfield Sand and Gravel.
that you said it was a different company.
There were 3 dumping incidents, 2 by Farrell and 1 by Deerfield. Deerfield came down with full load of pure salt at 1:45 in the morning in the rain, dumping salt on East Lane and West Lane. And the numbers have jumped a lot. So like I say, I'm very disappointed in you as a group for failing to serve and protect the taxpayers. Me, the people on Kelsey Road. It's posted a low salt zone. What else do you need? Bottom line is, I'm very disappointed until you guys get rid of Steve Rollins, because he's the one that sent the man out. That's enough for tonight. I'll be back next week, or next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comment?
I may have one, just a couple of things.
I see you just-
Cummings Stage Road. The plastics that you're gathering. Now, when do we tell the citizens we don't have to separate out our plastics anymore? It's going into the dumpster, right?
The plastic's not going into a dumpster, they are still compacting it and it is being
Stored.
stored, it's being compiled. We are not right now, we're not getting rid of it. Instead of they would pay, we would have to pay to get it removed. We are waiting to hope that even if it turns to a null, that we would try to move the plastics at that point.
So at our last meeting,
Which I was not at.
no, you weren't. So, what we're looking into is what the cost is to just get rid of it, even though it's gonna cost us money to have it recycled. What's the difference in that between just putting it into bulky waste? I mean, there's, I think, over 40 bales right now of plastic that are sitting
Where
there.
does the cardboard go?
That gets recycled.
It does, so you have a buyer for that,
Yes.
alright?
But we're on limited storage on that too. We gotta get that out.
And the only reason why I'm asking is I know sometimes when these things overflow, they just go right into the compactor and it does get landfilled.
Right.
So, maybe we can just save the citizens a few steps and say, stop separating it for a while. Because we're storing it over here. You're gonna run out of storage space.
Which is what, yeah.
Just something to think about.
Yeah, we did talk about that a little bit at last meeting.
Thanks, Doug.
Any other public comment? All right, we do not have any non-public for this evening.
Thank God.
I'll entertain a motion
I will make a motion to adjourn.
And I will second that motion.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Good night, Nottingham.
Thank you, everyone.